100,000 passengers stranded. 700 daily flights have been grounded, all while 10,000 flight attendants defy government orders to get back to work as they're demanding better pay. Air Canada now hopes to resume flights by this evening. Joining me now is aviation expert and former training program manager for the FAA, Philip Mann. Philip, good morning to you. When you've got 10,000 flight attendants on strike, how heavily is the ball in their court in these negotiations? I mean, Air Canada clearly can't and isn't conducting business without them.
Yeah, it's important to remember that the flight attendants are safety professionals, and their primary job is to ensure the safety of the aircraft. We're kind of used to them being the person who gets us our coffee and cookies and stuff, but that's not their main job. An aircraft can't fly without a full flight crew that includes the flight attendants. So a lot of the power is with them right now. I think the government intervention that's happened kind of speaks to that the bargaining unit, that the flight attendants themselves, that they're in a pretty strong position as far as what they're asking for, even though it's basically addressing something that's fairly common in the industry right now.
Yeah. And one of the issues, maybe the biggest issue at hand for flight attendants is that they want to be fully paid during ground duty. So right now, Air Canada is offering, 50% pay for boarding and deplaning. Is that a fair ask on the flight attendants' part?
I believe so, my personal opinion, because it's a very common thing in the industry, and this is for everybody in aircrew. This is for the flight attendants as well as pilots. There is at some point in time some demarcation point where they go from being non-paid to being paid. And for flight attendants, it's quite often as soon as they close the doors, they start getting paid until they get to the gate at the other side and open the doors, and they're not getting paid anymore. For pilots, it's very often something like wheels up to wheels down, and it's usually what's called. But I think this is something that the aviation industry broadly needs to address, is that there are quite often hours of work before and after a flight that air crews, flight attendants, pilots are expected to do, whether it's inspections, paperwork, whatever, that just simply is not compensated time currently. And I think that kind of puts the bargaining unit in a position where you're basically, it'd be like anybody else. If you're expected to show up to work 2 hours early for time you're not going to get paid for, then you might have to stay an hour or two late for time you're not getting paid for, but you have to do it because it's part of the job. Yeah. And that's not really fairly necessarily factored into the time required and the compensation that's provided.
Yeah, my mom is a flight attendant. There's so many hours that go into it outside of just the flight time itself. The Canadian government tried stepping in on this one, issuing that order for staff to go back to work in an effort to protect the economy. The union said no to that. How unprecedented was that move?
I believe historically in Canada, there have been several times there was a postal union thing where the postal union was in a similar situation. They struck, government said go back to work, postal union said no. But I think this kind of speaks to a little bit of a bigger impact of what aerospace and what aviation has as far as economic impact, because you probably wouldn't see the government stepping in to combat a strike at, say, a local manufacturer of some kind. But what this kind of makes me think of is if the government pushes farther, I always kind of go back to the old PATCO air traffic controller strike back in the 80s when, those were all government employees and they were all striking and they were ordered to go back to work, and they were all ultimately fired. And that is kind of the core of where we have a shortfall in air traffic controllers in the U.S. right now. Presently, it can all trace itself back to that one incident. So I'm kind of interested to see if there's some sort of inflection point here that snowballs and becomes a decades-long challenge to deal with. Yeah,
and Air Canada saying they hope to get flights back up running off the ground this evening. We'll see if that happens or not. Philip Mann, thank you for taking the time this morning, and we'll continue to follow this one closely.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.